Peaches are in season. July and August are great months to get fresh peaches. Jelly is made with fruit juice. Jam is made with bits of fruit. For ingredients today, you're going to need peaches, sugar, the reduced sugar pectin, so in Sure Gel it's the pink box, and a lemon. For utensils today, you'll need a kettle, a 1 cup liquid measure, a cup, a half cup, a tablespoon, a stirring spoon, a cutting board and paring knife, a lemon juicer if you have it, and a large bowl. If you're using containers that are about a cup, you will need 6 containers. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your jars are clean. If you have jelly jars, just put them in the dishwasher or wash them by hand and make sure that you sterilize them with some boiling water. If you don't have jars, you can purchase them just about any grocery store, hardware store. You can find them in glass or plastic. If you are not comfortable with the glass, for sure then go with the plastic. They usually have a kind of snap-on lid, which is much easier than the glass ones that have the lid that you need and the band. If you are using the glass, you want to know the size of your jar, whether it's a regular mouth or a wide mouth. So this is a regular mouth and this would be a wide mouth one. And when you're buying lids and bands, you want to check. It'll say on the box whether it's a regular or a wide mouth. It doesn't really matter. It's just your preference. When you're packing bigger items, like if you're canning fruits, a lot of times that's easier. We've got some pickled pike actually in this one, but typically for the jam I use the regular mouth. Another thing that makes it really easy is if you use a funnel. You can just set that in the jar and then ladle whatever you're wanting to can or preserve in there, and you have a wider area. So really whichever you can find. If you are looking for glass jars, a really good place to look for them is at thrift stores because you can get them really cheap. Wash the peaches, and I am going to just use a paring knife because these are really ripe. I had purchased them and let them sit on the counter for 2 days, so they are really easy to really ripe. So what you can do is, if your fruit is really ripe and you can just peel off the skin, go ahead and do that. So if you're not comfortable taking a knife and just kind of peeling your fruit, what you can do is take some water in a large container in the microwave for about 2 minutes, and then drop your fruit in there and let it sit for about 30 seconds or so, and then you'll be able to slip the skins that way. You could also do it on the stove top, get a kettle of boiling water going, and then just lower the peaches into it. So you just want to be careful then when you take it out. Let it drain a little bit. And then you're able to slip those skins really easy. So whichever way you're comfortable with. So as you're peeling and cutting your fruit, it's a good thing to keep a rag around. The fruit is very juicy when it's ripe, So you really want to make sure that your fruit isn't slipping around on your cutting surface, and that your knife handle stays dry as you're cutting up your fruit. So we're just going to put this into a small dice. If you're not comfortable doing the cutting, you could actually use a food processor or chopper and get it cut up smaller. What I find is if I do a small dice, and then all of you that do cooking class know about these choppers, you just take the chopper so we want to juice our lemon, so we're going to cut it in half. And I have a juicer, so I'm just going to stick it in there and squeeze it into a bowl below. You can always just squeeze and try to catch any seeds in your fingers. And just double check your bowl that it's all juice. Okay, so I have my 4 cups of peaches already prepared. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and we're going to mix that in. So I'm adding 2.5 cups of sugar and the package of Sure Gel for the reduced sugar recipe. And I'm going to give that a quick stir just to get it all incorporated before I add a cup of water to it. Make sure we've got it all in there. Then we're going to add that cup of water and stir to start dissolving this. We're going to cook this on the stove top till it comes to a boil for a minute. Make sure you get your edges so you don't have any crystally sugar in your jam. Okay, so that should be ready for the stovetop. So I've got our pectin on the stove. It's on a medium heat. We're going to bring it to a full boil for 1 minute. What I'm going to do next is work on cleaning the sides of the pan, getting that sugar and pectin mixture down in there so all the sugar dissolves, so you don't have crystals in your jam. So as your pectin starts heating up, you're going to want to stir it to keep it from scorching on the bottom, making sure you get the sides of the pan wiped down as you do it, and you can start to see it is starting to come to a boil. So we're going to wait till it comes to a full boil where you see bubbles all on the bottom of the pan there. So you can see that the pot is coming to a full boil, so we are going to time this for 1 minute and then remove it from the stove. So we have our pectin that came to a full boil, and I'm going to add it now to our fruit. And then you want to stir this in. So you really want to make sure you incorporate this all into your peaches. Okay, then all that's left really is putting the jam in your jars. So I have like a mason like jam jars. I like to use a funnel that just helps me aim better, and then a soup ladle. And all these, you want to make sure all the utensils and jars that you're using are very clean. You want to make sure that either you put them in the dishwasher and make sure there's a hot rinse to sterilize the jars. Otherwise, if you're hand washing them, hand wash them, and then make sure that you put boiling water, rinse or dip them in, just to make sure you have a good sterile jar. So you're going to want to fill it up, but not to the very top. You want to give it some space to, as it freezes, to rise if it needs to. And then this is going to sit on the counter overnight. And then tomorrow you can put a jar in your fridge and enjoy that. And the rest you can store in the freezer for up to a year. Your jam that you put right to the refrigerator will last about 3 weeks. Next, what we're going to do is wipe off with a clean rag the jar to get any jam that you have. Make sure you get that top rim good. Then you're going to put your sterilized cap on and your band, or if you have just a cover, put that on. Make sure they're clean again, and then those are going to sit on the counter for 24 hours. So this time tomorrow I can put this one in the fridge and chill to enjoy, and the rest I'm going to put in the freezer or share with a family or friend. We enjoy making jam just to have that fresh fruit taste in the winter months. So I hope you enjoy.